Hey guys, welcome to this behind the scenes video for the Interrogator. Today I'm going to show you what went into making this video and my process in doing this kind of face animation. I was really unsatisfied with kind of what I had going before. It was just, it was just the mouth moving, but specifically the texture was kind of quick and dirty, fuzzy edges, just a paint texture slapped over it. It looked pretty good if a lot of work was put into applying it to the face, but I ultimately wasn't satisfied with the final result. The lines were too thin around the mouth, all these little details that didn't make it look like an actual Lego mouth. So over the past couple of years, I've just been thinking about getting back to it, studying the details of the paint textures from the black to the white to the red and all these different kind of techniques that were used when painting them so that I can replicate those textures to a T and really make the faces feel like they were painted on, really including all those little imperfections. Today I'm just going to be showing you specifically my process, why this video took so dang long. Hey guys, I just want to let you know that the mouth positions that I created for this video, the LEGO specific mouth positions, are actually going to be available to download on my Patreon at the $4 tier. I spent a lot of time making them. They're extremely detailed, using like specific paint textures that are unique to LEGO and how the figures are printed. So if you're looking to get into face animation for your LEGO films, there are no better elements to use. So be sure to check that out there. There's plenty of other exclusive content there, going deep into my process for different things, different techniques that I'm trying out. So be sure to check that out and into the behind the scenes. So this video's process really started with the faces, with knowing that I wanted to do a video focused on seeing what I could do when it comes to tracking the faces, and also what I could do in terms of kind of stress testing these new textures and such. Like I wanted to do about a 1-minute video, maybe 40 seconds to 1 minute of just someone talking. And so being that I've been trying to like work on my dialogue more, and my girlfriend's actually much more adept at that sort of thing, I kind of brought her in and we worked together on this script to really kind of hone in on the dialogue and making it something funny and entertaining. And this just kind of speaks to a writing process that I kind of live by. It doesn't really matter if, like I work in Star Wars mostly, my girlfriend doesn't really know too much about Star Wars. She's seen a couple movies, but it's not like the knowledge is like just right there like it is like with me because I grew up with it. But the writing process for these things is always similar. Like when it comes to writing technique and writing dialogue, that technique is kind of the same across the board. There are different styles for different mediums like TV and movies and such, but that's kind of how I go about collaborating in the writing process for these videos. It's kind of like if you know someone around you has talent, figure out those bits of talent that really can be woven into your work. So after we kind of went through the writing process, I went away and had a final script. This is the whole script. I didn't really need to do storyboards this time, but just because I knew it was just going to be of the Interrogator behind this table. It was more about, okay, where can I put the camera to make it look interesting? It was really just about setting up my set in an interesting way. I can move the camera pretty much all around, back and forth with the table. That way I could see this angle for the wide shot is good. This is a good close-up on the right, there's a good close-up on the left, these kinds of things. So how I went about doing this was just kind of drawing a box for the table and then drawing a little camera. Close-up, extreme close-up, and so on and so on. And then just kind of showing breaks in the dialogue where it would give me a break. Usually you have to overcompensate for there being no face, so your characters are moving a little bit more, being a little bit more dramatic, but because either the character's face isn't shown, like a Stormtrooper, or when the face is shown, there isn't much emotion going on there. It's just kind of the mouth, flapping or whatever. But since I was doing a full face for this, I figured I would not move the character as much as usual. He would still be expressive and move on specific words, but overall he would move and then stop and then move and then stop and move and then stop. So then one, it gave me a break in the computer and in the tracking process, but it kind of gave you time to take in and enjoy the face animation on its own. I had that in mind from the beginning planning stages. I like to secure what I can to the tables and bookcases and whatever to make it so while I'm animating I don't bump anything. This isn't actually set in the scene right now because the camera's kind of set up in a very strange position. You know, what I usually do with videos is I animate the character full face, and then I just remove the mouth for the frames where his mouth is moving and that kind of thing. Then I put the mouth on the image as a 2D mouth and adjusting the rotation and scale and all that stuff to make it match. Some people actually just remove like the mouth they just erase it off the face. I just erased the whole face for this one. But yeah, there are all different kinds of methods. I just removed the mouth in the computer for the frames that I need in most cases because the mouths are usually just a line or something. It's relatively easy to remove. But if you do want to remove it in person and just track the mouth back on the face every single frame, which is a lot of work, if your characters move a lot or you're animating at 24 frames per second, you can just use a standard pencil eraser. These pink erasers work the best for that. I don't know why, but yeah, these white ones, like, it takes twice as long and it's not really worth the time. So if you can just get a box of pencils for a couple cents, that's a good way to erase Lego faces or erase Lego paint off of minifigures. So as you can see right now, I'm still working on the project. It's Thursday evening, or, you know, late at night, and I'm still in the middle of shots. I'm still getting it done. It's been about like a week and a half of actual production on this. It has been taking a really long time to really nail this one, just because it's a new process, it's new animation. This one is officially done in 4K just to really emphasize and really highlight the detail of the new faces and kind of you know, show them in all their glory and that kind of thing. So that does extend the production time and all this stuff. And then on top of that, it's just a new tracking method, a new process that I've never done before. So if I were doing this just usually and there was a face there, drop in your image of the mouth. If you're doing just digital keys, like you create an element and then you just put a very, very flat, harsh green behind it, the key basically works perfectly right off the bat. So you don't really have to worry about all that fine tuning that comes with a live action shot. So if I just go to key light and select the green, it immediately keys it just perfectly. You know, you scale it to how you need it and then put it where the mouth goes, essentially. You know, that's how I would go, just frame by frame, just moving the position and moving the rotation and scale. And then if you turn on like the 3D mode, it gives you all these extra rotation options where it doesn't just rotate like that, it actually rotates in 3D space. That's how you do it with like 2D images, and you know, you're not wrapping it around a cylinder or anything like that. It's just easy peasy, nice and simple. You can use CC cylinders, which is the effect in After Effects that lets it wrap around a cylinder and then track it that way. That just makes it a lot harder because you're tracking in 3D space, so I warn you against doing that if possible. That's how I'm doing this video, and it's extremely irritating. But if you're getting started and you want to be able to use mouths and kind of jump into that world, you can use the images, just key the green and then work with them as 2D elements, just tracking them to the face, you know, manually. And that just goes frame by frame by frame. Again, if you're interested in using the talk cycle that I used for this video, check out my Patreon. The $4 tiers, where those will be available. The $4 tier is just where you'll find production materials, such as production used scripts and storyboards and all that kind of stuff, as well as these mouth elements. And that's about it for this behind the scenes video. Sorry I couldn't show more, but I'll be doing a Brick Film School episode on specifically using the mouth animation technique. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoyed the Interrogator. I guess coming up next, we're gonna have some kind of crazy action thing, so look forward to that. Thanks for your support, and thanks for 21,000 subscribers, and on to the next one.